Hi everyone, welcome back. I recently ran out of literally every single one of my skincare items. So I had to go through and repurchase some things. So I figured today that I would walk you through all of my empties as well as what I used to replace those items. I used to be someone that really liked having a super extensive skincare routine. I had the big old 12 step. I did like a mask every single night of some sort. But really recently, I have been making a huge effort to dial back my spending, just really in general, but also just making an effort to simplify my skincare routine as well too. When I worked at Estee Lauder and when I worked at MAC, I had free skincare products like all the time. And even then, I would still like to go to places like Sephora or Ulta to try new products out. But these days, I've really gone more towards like Korean skincare. There are going to be some brands like Laneige and Dr. Jart that are technically K-beauty brands that are inside of Sephora. But I started branching out to buying more from places like Olive Young, Stylovana, Yes Style, etc. Just because I wanted to expand the kinds of things that I wanted to try. I am not someone that tries to go down the like natural ingredients, like no this, no that. Like that's just not something I am super interested in. But one thing that I do appreciate is that it does seem like a lot more K-beauty, and not even just K-beauty, I would say J-beauty, Chinese skincare as well too, tends to be a little bit more on the gentler side, at least in terms of the stuff that I have used. I like that it's a lot easier to find things like hydrating toners, for example, within like K-beauty and other Asian beauty brands. And these days, as I get older, my skin has just become drier. I'm not as glowy anymore. I'm actually a little surprised how glowy I am looking right now in the camera. I'm not gonna lie. No, so anything that helps with hydration and glow is just a bonus in my book. Not to mention, I do deal with a little bit of rosacea, and I can sometimes have some flare-ups where it's just more red than other days. And I tend to find that when I switched, because things were a little bit more on the gentle side, and at least more on the hydrating and glowy side, my skin seemed to react a lot better to that. So I think the first thing that I'm going to go through is going to be my evening routine. I am someone that loves to use a makeup cleansing balm. I always have felt like it did a really nice job at removing everything, and it also was just like way more gentle on my skin. Rather than like taking makeup wipes and rubbing them all over my face. And the one that I used up recently is going to be this product right here. This is the Radiance Cleansing Balm by Beauty of Joseon. I do really like this cleansing balm. I thought it was really lightweight. I thought the scent wasn't too awful or too overpowering. I do love how this is something that pops open on the top. It just makes it so much easier to handle, especially when you are at the part where you have cleansing balm all over your hands, and then now you need to like close this back up. This time I did not end up getting the exact same one, mostly because I wanted to go back to a cleansing balm that I have tried before. So the one that I decided to get this time is the Pyunkang Yul Deep Clear Cleansing Balm. I love how light and fresh the scent is. I think that it isn't too heavy. It's not something that has irritated my skin. I wish I could say a lot more about what I liked or didn't like about these cleansing balms, but honestly, for the most part, I tend to find a cleansing balm is a good cleansing balm. This one lathers up so nicely and does a great job at removing my makeup. It comes with a nice little plastic spatula, which you can use to get into if you're someone that doesn't like to use your fingers to get into product. Now, I know looking at this jar, you might think that this has more product in it, but it is the exact same amount as the Beauty of Joseon one. So I don't know what that means other than there might be some excessive like plastic use in this. So it's not something I try to go back to like very often. It's just I tend to go between this one or the Beauty of Joseon like pretty often, and I just can't seem to make up my mind which one I like more. So I just keep going back and forth between the two. So next on my list is the ANUA Heartleaf 77% Soothing Toner. I definitely jumped on the ANUA hype train when it was like really big last year. Now at first, probably due to the influence of like what other people were saying and thinking about this product on TikTok, but I did like this at first, but I tend to find over time that it was maybe a little bit more drying than I think I was expecting, especially for something that was calling itself like a soothing toner. And then I did start to see some people that had more similar skin to me, whether they dealt with certain breakouts or where they had dealt with some rosacea, kind of saying that this product wasn't really agreeing with them. And that's when I started to kind of consider like, you know, I've done one bottle. It was totally fun to try, but I do think that I am going to go ahead and switch it up. And this is where I replaced it with the Skin 1004 Madagascar Centella Toning Toner, which is made with pure Centella from Madagascar. This seems to be another big brand that is making its way through the internet right now and is becoming very popular. I ended up deciding to choose this because I saw this as a possible alternative if the ANUA Soothing Toner was found to be a little bit irritating or not working as well for your skin. So far, I am really enjoying it. Granted, take all of my reviews, at least with the new products, with a slight grain of salt because I have only been using these for like 2 weeks. So I'm really not going to know my full opinion on them until I get to another Empties situation. I am definitely finding this so far to be a little bit more lightweight than the ANUA one. I am finding it to be a little bit less fragrant as well too. Not that either of them really has a fragrance, but you know, like even when there's no fragrance added, like stuff has a smell to it. You know what I'm saying? And I tend to find that this ended up being a little bit more mild. The next step in my evening skincare routine is essence. This is the Pyunkag Yul Red Rice Moisture Firming Essence. It's a rice vegan ceramide. I thought the product was okay. I liked the texture of it. I liked that a little bit went a really long way. I was able to get away with just using like 1 to 2 pumps, and it was enough to like get over my whole face. If I'm being completely honest, I don't have something that I purchased to replace the essence. Because I'm trying to spend less money and also simplify my skincare routine just the tiniest little bit, I decided that the skincare item I felt like I could really go without was essence. I've always kind of been someone that definitely bought the idea of essences. In the end, I found it was a step in my routine that I could just simply let go and find more hydration and glow in the other products that I'm using instead. And now in the next part of my evening routine is going to be serums. I completely ran out of the Torriden Dive in Serum. This is a low molecular hyaluronic acid serum. If you watched my 2024 favorites video, this came up, but it was paired with a lip product. Wish I would have gotten another one while I was low on products. But I didn't end up getting any because honestly, it just got to a point where I decided I liked this more on my lips than I really did on my face. I did really like this combo with my lip though, but it's just like, it's also hard for me to be like, well, are you gonna buy a whole 1.7 fluid ounce product like just to use on your lips? I don't know. And then the serum that I decided to replace it with this time is this one. It's the ANUA 7 Plus Rice 7 Plus Ceramide Hydrating Barrier Serum. I am starting to make an effort these days to try and move towards products that are specifically talking about like healing or protecting like your skin barrier. And it being winter in the Midwest, it is just so cold, especially like wind. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had wind chill that was negative 30 degrees below Fahrenheit, by the way. So far, it's okay. Like, I'm definitely going to use it up. I'm going to keep going with it. But it does have that like snail mucin texture, which is, I'm going to be honest, it's just not my favorite. I've used products with snail mucin in it before, or things that have that similar texture. It's not something that is a 100% immediate no, just because it has that texture. But I do tend to be a little bit more apprehensive of it, and maybe it won't be my favorite. I'm going to keep using this though, and definitely give you a little update as to how it's doing for my skin. Now we are getting into the last step of our evening routine, and that is going to be our moisturizer. I was using this one. This is the Hyaluronic Acid Intensive Cream by COSRX. I really liked this stuff. I thought it was nice. A little bit goes a really long way, and part of that is because it has that snail mucin texture, which is so like it's such a double-edged sword to me, because like I just said about that serum or like snail mucin, it's not my favorite texture in the entire world. However, this jar then lasted me for freaking ever. Because of the texture, I needed so little of it, and it was so easy to spread around. It gave my skin such a beautiful glow. I woke up with incredibly hydrating skin, and I would have really thought about repurchasing this one again, but because I'm just so against the texture right now and trying to branch out into something else, I decided to give another cream a go. And that is where this next baby is gonna come in, and that is the Pyunkang Yul Intensive Repair Cream. Now, it looks like a small jar, but don't let that fool you. It is still 1.7 fluid ounces. Right away, I love that it's in a glass jar. I appreciate when I get products and it turns out to be in glass instead of plastic. It makes it a little bit easier to reuse in your day-to-day life, or if you need to put it in your recycling bin. So far, so good. I do wish it gave me a little bit of a glow when I used it. Granted, it's just the evening. It's not like I need a shit ton of glow anyway. I'm not going out with it on. However, that does mean when I wake up in the morning that I'm not necessarily waking up with a really nice glow either. It does leave my skin really soft. It does leave it really moisturized. I think one thing about the texture that is a little bit difficult for me, I am finding that it is so thick that when I go to rub it on my face, I'm having to like really massage and like pull at my skin, which is not for me my favorite. I think I need to experiment a little bit more with exactly how long I warm it up in the palm of my hands before I go and touch it and put it on my face. Of course, that's my downfall, right? Like I said, I didn't like the snail mucin texture, and it was a little too boogery and all that other stuff, and I was like, oh, I want to go the other way. And now all of a sudden it's so thick I can't even like rub it around without like pulling my skin everywhere. Remember when I said the moisturizer was the last step of my routine? I lied. It's my lip product, and it is the CMP Laboratory Propolis Lipcerin. I ran out of this and I replaced it. This was easily my favorite skincare product that I found last year. Easily. I like that it is a twist top to get the product out. I love that It is that sort of like Vaseline-like texture, but it is actually moisturizing. It's not just gonna be that something that sits on the top of your lips and kind of like doesn't do anything else, but it leaves my lips so soft and so hydrated. I use it every night. I use it in the morning sometimes as well too. It's gonna be my evening lip product probably for forever. I got really lucky because there ended up being a buy one get one free of this lip product on Stylovana. So you can bet your ass I took advantage of that. So perfect timing for me. So now we are getting into the morning routine. I didn't have any cleansers that I had to replace for my morning, so that means we are just going to be jumping right into our serums and moisturizers. The item that I ran out of is this one. It's the Beauty of Joseon Glow Serum, Propolis, and Niacinamide. I just ended up not really liking this one. I think this is one that kind of comes really recommended, but honestly, like, I think I just need to stop trying stuff with niacinamide because I tend to find it just doesn't really agree with my skin, unfortunately. Not that like I got any irritation, it's just that I didn't really find any benefit out of it. And I've like read before that like niacinamide is supposed to be good with helping like redness or if you have rosacea. I keep trying to use niacinamide. I've been trying to use niacinamide for like over 10 years, and every time I leave niacinamide, I'm just like, yeah, but everyone says it's great, so I should try it. No. I have to stop trying it because I end up not really seeing any results that I want. I am glad I used it up because I didn't want to waste anything with it anyway, but I am very happy to be moving on and trying something new. And with that, I have decided to give the Skin 1004 Madagascar Centella Ampoule a shot. First of all, again, I love that it comes in this heavy glass packaging. I wish that the toner that I bought in the same line also came in a glass packaging. Unfortunately, it is just in plastic. One thing right away that I automatically love about it is that it's 3.38 fluid ounces. Like most serums on the market that I have seen usually tend to sit in that 1.7 range. Anything above that tends to be more like a value size, and they tend to get pretty expensive. This, I believe, off the top of my head, might have been like 20 something, and I get like almost double the amount. That alone right there might keep me buying this. Just the fact of the price and the size alone, that's all I need. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It's very hydrating, but yet still lightweight. I do think, again, with the texture, I think it is getting a little bit too on the watery side. Because of how watery it is, I'm tending to find that I'm almost needing a little bit more of the product, just because like a little bit more like falls through the cracks of my fingers, for example. I don't want it to be too boogery. I don't want it to be too watery. I need it to be just right. Just like Goldilocks, okay? Okay. This next and final product that I emptied and repurchased is going to be the ANUA Heartleaf 70 Intense Calming Cream. I really like this moisturizer a lot. This is kind of the only moisturizer I used during the day last year. I enjoy that it is intensely hydrating, but I don't find it to be too thick to wear underneath makeup. It's also the kind of moisturizing cream though that I find if I am going on a trip, like if I'm going somewhere for the night or weekend, whatever, I am happy to also use this during the evening as well too. Easily one of my favorite moisturizer finds of this past year. I definitely think this is going to be one that I keep using. I have a feeling like this is just going to be a moisturizer that no matter what I go and experiment with, I'm going to just like naturally come back to this when I don't know what I want to try next. And that is all of my skincare empties and everything that I replaced it with. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and had fun looking into some of the products that I've used up, as well as what I'm looking forward to using next. This isn't necessarily going to be, I think, a regular theme on my channel. I don't really want to necessarily be like a big beauty YouTuber or anything like that, but skincare is something that I really do enjoy talking about, and I do like to share products, and I love sharing like skincare routines. I would love to hear your opinions down below about any of the products I've talked about today. What are some things that you think I should try next? When I run out of things, okay? When I run out. Do you have a texture issue as well too with your skincare products? Are you like me? Are you a little Goldilocks just like me? So until the next video, please be kind to yourself, be kind to one another, love each other, and I'll see you soon. Bye!